Let us talk about the most important meal of the day, breakfast. And when you're busy, if you lead a really hectic lifestyle, like let's face it, most of us do, when you're pushed for time, it's very easy to skip breakfast or to eat something that's inappropriate. And for many people, breakfast is just a cup of coffee on the go. But a good breakfast is of utmost importance for good health. And really, when you think about it, the clue is in the name. Break. Fast. You're breaking your overnight fast. You've not eaten anything overnight, but your body has been working away, digesting last night's dinner and so on, earn the course, or your internal organs are working away. So you've been burning up calories overnight. You have effectively been fasting overnight, and now, first thing in the morning, you need to refuel. So let's talk about a few breakfast do's and don'ts. Well, first of all, eat natural foods for your breakfast. There's a lot of things out there that claim to be breakfast foods, processed breakfast cereals, breakfast bars, all that sort of stuff, and they tend to be not particularly good for you. So you want to stick to something that's old-fashioned and healthy for your breakfast, something that's natural. And you want to have something that's high in fiber. And this is important because when you get some fiber into your stomach during the morning, it's going to aid your digestion throughout the day. It's going to stop you getting stomach cramps. It's going to make sure you get regular bowel movements, that sort of thing. And you want something that's high in proteins and complex carbohydrates, because carbohydrates release energy over the course of the day. And you also want to make sure that you get plenty of vitamins, particularly vitamins B and C, because they are good for your health and good for building muscle structure and good for keeping away viruses and that sort of thing. Okay, here's a few don'ts. First of all, don't skip breakfast. It's very important. Make time to have something to eat first thing in the morning. And you shouldn't eat processed foods. Like I was just saying, highly processed breakfast cereals, donuts, so-called breakfast bars, they're not generally very healthy for you. They're more designed for convenience. But when it comes to convenience, you sacrifice nutrition. So, quite frankly, the price is just too high, at least in my mind. And it's also not a good idea to have breakfast on the go, grabbing your coffee and your so-called breakfast bar as you walk out the door and eating it while you're sitting behind the wheel of your car while you're stuck in traffic. That's not a good idea because you're going to be stressed. You're going to probably gulp it all down and you give yourself indigestion amongst other things. So you want to take the time to sit down and have a proper breakfast. Now, that doesn't mean to say as you're going to sit down at your dining table and eat your breakfast, you can sit there on your sofa and have a piece of toast while you're watching breakfast television or listening to the radio or reading the newspaper. But at least do have it as a separate meal, not having your breakfast while you're doing something else. Now, experts recommend that you should have breakfast within 2 hours of waking up. And to stay healthy, your breakfast should provide you with about 20 to 35% of your daily intake of calories. Now, this is quite a complicated subject, and there are lots of different options that you can take, or depending on your own personal preference, your own food likes and dislikes and that sort of thing. So if you go to Google and type in healthy breakfast recipes, you'll find that there are lots and lots of different ideas that you can get for having a nice, healthy, nutritious, clean-eating breakfast.